Hello learners, welcome to this course on preparation of research proposal in social sciences, and today we are going to discuss lecture number 12, which is writing an introduction of research proposal. We have discussed that what is introduction of a research proposal, how we do it and how significant it is for a proposal, and today we are going to discuss in a very comprehensive manner that how actually you write introduction of a research proposal. It will be a bit practical also, that how you write. I will show you some examples that how you are going to make it useful and a spine thing for overall research proposal. So let us begin. Key learning themes which we are going to discuss today. You can see here, understanding the role of introduction in research proposal. Purpose and importance of introduction section. Essential components of a strong research proposal introduction, situating your research in the broader context, articulating the research problem with precision, highlighting the significance and value of the study, review snapshots and sample illustrations, frequent pitfalls to avoid in writing introduction, and strategies to craft and compiling a coherent introduction. So let us begin. We have to understand here that what is the role of introduction in research proposal. Few things we have already discussed and few things we will discuss today, that the introduction sets the stage for your entire research proposal. Here, it sets the stage means it sets the whole momentum. The whole idea you conceptualize in the introduction, that as a researcher, this is my idea towards some certain topic and I am going to this, and these are the background that I have written. So it gives you a stage that yes, I am going to define my research in this and this manner. It gives context, background and outlines what the study is about. See, when you are framing any kind of a research proposal with some certain topic, you definitely have some context. What is the background of a study, what things have led you to do this particular study, and what are the evidences and research based support. You give outlines about your study, that what the study is actually. Next is, it acts at the first impression for the reviewers, readers and funding agency. Whenever somebody is going to have your research proposal in the hand, they are going to start first with your title page and then immediately they are going to the introduction section. So it's become very prominent and very important for a researcher to understand that the moment you give your introduction, most of the time it says all. It creates the curiosity among the readers that yes, something new is going to come. It creates your impression that how deeper review of literature you have done, or how deep conceptual understanding about some certain problems you have. And as a researcher, how many things you have studied, because your citations, your in-text citations will show that what kind of research you have reviewed in terms of finalizing and making a background of your this section. So I can say that research is the thing which is highly dependent upon how you do it, and how you take it further. Therefore, introduction in a research proposal plays a very key role in terms of communicating your thoughts, your idea very effectively to the reviewers and readers. Purpose and importance of introduction section. What is the purpose of introduction section? We have discussed it a little bit. Today we will go in a more deeper way to explain the background of the problem. See, every research problem has some certain background, and the background covers that why this research is being done, what are the similar kind of studies those who are being done, and what is the need of this research. So to explain all these things, you need to have a background of the problem, and introduction section covers And not only covers, it explains in a very concise manner, very to the point manner to the readers that yes, this is the background of the problem. Next, you can see to show the significance and relevance of the study. Why your study is important, why your study matters. There are many researches going on, but what is special, what new, what creative, what original you will bring to the knowledge system with some certain research that you are going to justify within your introduction section. That this is the significance and relevance of the study. Relevance, it is related to the society, societal needs or present context or some other kind of a thing, and it makes an impression that yes, you are going to produce something good. So you can see here that when you prepare a good background with significance and relevance of the study, it makes your study more sound. Sound in terms of your preparation, your ideas, your conceptual things about the research topic. Next is to position the research within the existing body of research. This is very important to understand for a researcher, that whatever you are proposing, it may feel to you that yes, it is very worthy, and it happens to the researchers. What they propose, they feel that yes, it's worthy, that is why they are proposing. But when you go into the academic fraternity, when you go deeper into the research areas, when you go deeper into the existing body of research and knowledge, you have to make sure that where your research lies, where your research is positioned, you have to make sure. And these things can be done only by this introduction section, because it is very important. It is very important. See, research is not only about forming the objective, is not forming about rationale of the study. It is also to position and show the importance what you are doing, and that you do with the help of introduction section. It convey the message that yes, in the existing body of research and knowledge, this is a place where knowledge gap is there, and this research holds this particular position with a tentative outcomes that you are going to propose. So it's a very important thing that in under introduction section, firstly prepare the background of the problem, then you can highlight significance and relevance of the study, and lastly you can make sure that how you are giving arguments towards the position of the research within the existing body of research. Essential components of a strong research proposal. See, I have discussed this thing, that introduction is a very essential component. And why it is essential? Because there are the 5 fundamental things that it holds. First is conceptual background, second is nature of the problem, third is current knowledge and gap, fourth is significance of a study, and fifth is brief overview of methodology. Here, how you contextualize your problem is being represented by introduction. Nature of the problem represented by introduction of the problem. Current knowledge and gap mention, and it is recommended that you give your knowledge gap and existing knowledge in the introduction part to enhance its more effectiveness. And brief overview of methodology. This is very important. Sometimes you think that we are going to define methodology in the other section of research proposal, but sometime a research required some overview of the methodology, that yes, you have identified this problem, but as a researcher, how you look to counter this with some certain kind of a research design. A brief idea, a very brief idea about methodology enhances the conceptual background of your introduction. Situating your research in the broader context. Describe the broad field or discipline. Stick to the specific area of your study. Provide relevant background information with citation. These three things are very interesting and very important, that how you place your research into the broader context. And among these things, first is describe the broad field or discipline. When you are preparing the introduction section, your discipline and broad field should be described. It is required that you describe it very specifically, so that reader can understand then in which direction you are going for your study. Stick to the specific area of your study. For example, after the broad field, you have some particular area that I am working in the field of technological interventions. Stick to that area, because the moment you stick to that, you make your thoughts and ideas very pinpointed, and it improves the effectiveness of your overall introduction section. Provides relevant background information with citation. This is, I am repeating again, that whenever you are writing any kind of a statement, or when you are writing any kind of a research finding in support of your research thought or idea, you have to provide some kind of citation, because you are in a phase where you have not actually done the research, and what you say is not going to be believed only by you say. So, it is better and important also that you justify and give the strong arguments towards what you have read towards some particular study. So, it is better and important also to provide relevant background information with citations. Articulating the research problem with precision. Define the research problem. Highlight the issue your study aims to address. Use statistics report or prior studies to support the problem relevance. So, let us take this all three one by one. When you are in a stage to define your research problem, first thing is to understand that what kind of variable, what is the nature of your research, and how it can be done, so that the moment you define your research problem properly, you go further with a clear intent that yes, this is my variable, this is the way I am going to do it, and it makes your overall formulation more sound and effective. Highlight the issue your study aims to address. You are not going to make objectives here. Please be very cautious. You are not going to write objective of your research here, but you are going to highlight the issue that your study aims in a very comprehensive manner. And you can use some statistics reports. It may be report of government, it may be report of any NGO or any research that you found, or prior studies that that suppose the problem relevance. It makes you more sound, more concrete, and more to the point when you talk with data. See, when I say that there is so much poverty, for example, if I say that there is so much poverty, the statement looks very vague, that what does this so much means? As a researcher, when you come up with data that in several society this is the poverty level, it makes you more clear, it makes you more contextual, that you are having some specific data related to your research work, and it actually provides you the strong arguments that yes, this is the real situation, this is the report, this is the data, this is the finding. So, since this is the situation, I can move forward. So, look into this all these things for articulating the research problem with precision. Highlighting the significance and value of the study. This is an important thing that a researcher have to be very cautiously do it. Why is this study needed? You have to justify this. Who will be benefited from findings? Scholar, practitioners, policymakers. How does it contribute to theory, practice, or policy? These three things makes your overall presentation and articulation of the idea very strong. And you can make it very sequentially. For example, when you are writing that why study is needed, you can immediately address that who will be benefited with your finding, because the moment you make clear decision that yes, if I got this thing, my result will be benefit this and this people, my result will benefit some certain kind of issues, it drags the attentions of the readers, because it may be case the topic is very interesting, but the the idea, the things that you are proposing, that who will be benefited with my findings, may be not proper. So the moment when you make it that who will be benefited from your finding and make it more specific, it created the chance of your proposal to be selected. How does it contribute to theory, practice and policy? This is a thing which generally institutions look towards your research proposal, and this is common for all kind of a research proposal, whether it is for PG level, whether it is for doctoral level, postdoctoral level, or for funding agencies also, because everybody is eyeing to you that how your research work is going to contribute to existing theory, practices and policy. And if your research outputs lie within any of this domain, that this is contributing significantly, there is a high chance that your proposal will be accepted. So please be very careful when you are writing this thing and highlighting the significance and value of your study. It will make this section more sound. Review snapshots and sample illustration. A quick reference to existing literature that supports the problem, shows how your research is positioned in relation to prior work, may introduce gaps that justify your study. We can discuss here it with the help of an example. In a recent year, students' engagement in online learning has become a major concern. Despite multiple interventions, dropout rate in MOOCs remains high. This study aims to explore the factor affecting sustained participation in online courses among students in India. See, when you are talking about that how I have to do this, these things are very important, that have a quick reference to existing literature that supports the problem, shows how your research is positioned in relation to prior work. It gives it a strong support that these are already been done work and my research is aligning in so and so manner to the already done research, and you may introduce gaps that justify your study. Frequent pitfalls to avoid in writing introductions. See, when a researcher is going to start and framing the introduction section of a research proposal, they have many thoughts that they want to keep it there, but you have a word limitation, you have an idea that is to be articulated in very proper manner. So generally there are some common things that happens, you have to avoid it, like being too broad or vague. Weak justification. Being too broad or vague means, for example, you are writing relevance of your study and you are writing more over relevance and you are not highlighting the significance of the study or not talking about the methodology, the idea that you are having for conducting the research, it makes it too vague. So it is a very important thing that a researcher have to understand, that when you are writing an introduction section, be very focused about, for example, if you are writing your introduction in 700 words, then divide it, that how much part you are going to give for relevance, how much part you are going to give for background, how much part you are going to give to significance of the study, so that you can prepare it in a very consolidated manner, that yes, 700 words which I have written in the introduction part is communicating the crux of my research to the person concerned. Weak justification, it is not acceptable when you do not give proper justification to your argument. So be very specific in terms of not giving weak justification. Lack of focus or clarity in problem statement. This is also going to not help you when you make a weaker problem statement. Here weaker in sense means it is not to the point, means when you are countering some certain kind of a variable and a specific design for a study, you have to be very focused, in clarity, and make your problem statement to the point. Not linking the introduction to the research problem. This is another serious thing that research proposal needs to be addressed in the introduction section, that if you are not able to link the introduction to research problem, what is your research problem, and you are writing very comprehensively around that research problem. For example, let us see, if we are trying to do a research which is based on interventional plan on some certain level of school students. So you have to be pinpointed in terms of writing about your plan, about your interventions, dimensions of that thing that you are going to address. But if you write more around the teaching practices or other things that we do in a class that force you or that give you thought to make some certain kind of research, it is going to degrade your introduction section, because you have a limitation of a word, you have a limitation of a time to prepare it. So do not linking the introduction to research problem makes it very vague. Overuse of jargon without explanation. As I have said in the previous lectures also, that use of jargon and these things are strictly not allowed. It's not allowed to do it, even if it is seriously required, and if required you have to provide explanation. And it will not be accepted if you overuse, reuse, or do something with jargons or anything without explanation. It lay down the professionalism, it lay down the way researchers should write, and in the form of research language it will also not be acceptable. So be very focused about this thing, that you do not overuse of jargon, especially without explanation. Overlooking research gap. Just I have mentioned, you can make a tick of this thing, that when you are writing an introduction, do not overlook research gap. Citation error. These errors are more serious, because when you say that I found this thing, or I got this thing, that these things variables are available and this kind of findings are available in a research, and you are missing citation, it makes no sense to the reader. It makes no sense to the reader. For example, let us consider a study, that study says that effect of ICT based lesson plans increases the achievements of the learner. You are mentioning this in your introduction section without citation. It has no meaning, because what is the evidence on the basis of that you say that effect of lesson plan, ICT based lesson plan can enhance achievement? You need some citation in the form of already done researches. So please be very specific with all these issues to avoid and make a proper introduction. Avoid these things, because if your introduction is not proper and accurate, the momentum of the research proposal goes down. The person who is reading it, sometime they may lose interest, that oh, research introduction is not standard and is not professionally written. So please look into all these issues. Here are some citation style that is useful for you. There are two basic citation styles. First is narrative citation and second is parenthetical citations. You can see on a screen example that according to Kumar 2020, critical thinking is important in education. It's a wrong way to do citation. What's wrong here? Missing parentheses around the year, and correct APA narrative style needs to year in brackets after the author's name. Now, what is the correct style of narrative citation? According to Kumar 2020, critical thinking is important in education. So, when you are writing any kind of a thing which is supporting argument to your research, please write in a manner like this when you are writing in a narrative citation style. Next is Parenthetical citations. Wrong one. Firstly, let us see. Critical thinking has been emphasized by several scholars. Kumar 2020. You can see here on the screen. Now, since it is wrong, what is the wrong? No comma between author and year. Do not make this mistake. Generally it happens, but it gives very poor impression to the readers, because in a research this kind of issues are not acceptable by researcher. Next is APA format requires a common inside the parenthesis between author and the year. So let us see what is the correct one. Critical thinking has been emphasized by several scholars. Kumar 2020. And since we are writing here several scholars, you can write other authors also, those who have done research in the same area and have aligned kind of a findings which are very nearby to the discussions that you are doing. Strategies to craft a compiling and coherent introduction. These are the points for you. You can make a note of it, that how you have to start with a real world problem. Real world problem. You should have a concrete idea, a thought about your research, that yes, this is the problem that I am having and what is its real world implications. Be clear, concise and professional. It is recommended from the previous lectures also. I am telling that if you are not clear in terms of writing your ideas properly, because it is not only you are going to say something. Firstly, your proposal will speak. So you have to be very clear, concise. Do not write very long statements and cover only one or two components, because you see I have discussed 19-18 components with you of a research proposal, and all components of a research proposal contain that sub components. For example, that introduction section, it contains background of the study, need of the study, significance, relevance. So be very concise in writing all these things, and most importantly, be professional with your write-ups and using the proper research language. Use citations to support a statement, as I have just discussed. Use citation. Without citation, your discussion, your ideas, your write-ups becomes very vague. Align with the research idea and area. This is the final and important aspect of crafting and coherent introduction. Do not make your write-ups vague. I am again specifying it. The topic, the problem that you have identified, stick to it in a very focused manner, because whatever you are writing, you feel that I am writing over the same kind of a topic, but it may be case that your write-ups are related to some broader areas, because when you talk about something, being on the point is a very specific thing. So when you align your research with the research idea and area that you have, it helps you in making it concise, clear, professional, and overall you make a good introduction section which gives a very effective communication, which gives a very effective impression of your research ideas and ways you articulate your research ideas to the person concerned and readers. So this is all about this, and let us have a concluding discussion. The introduction to research proposal helps you in establishing the context and background. It helps you. It sets the stage by explaining the broader area of a study. It helps the reader understand where your topic fits. It defines the core research problem, clearly identifies what issues or gap your study addresses, frames the study with clarity and purpose. Justify the need of your research, which is very important. I am telling from the beginning. Explain the relevance and significance of your research. Show how your study contributes to existing body of knowledge. Engage the reader with a clear focus. Narrow down from general background to the specific problem. Keeps the reader oriented guided and interested, and it provides a logical flow to the next section. It provides a logical flow to the next section. It smoothly transitions into the literature review or rationale, and it maintains a coherence across the research proposal. So I hope this discussion will help you in forming a very good introduction of your research proposal, and you can take care of all the discussions and pitfalls what I have discussed before and while making the introduction of your research proposal. So this is all. Thank you so much.